Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel ForexPnL. It's Friday the 4th of February 2022, 6:31 p.m. in the evening, and well, the markets have closed and it's time for another edition of the weekly Forex forecast for the upcoming week. And today we have about 14 currency pairs. Okay, as usual, we go through the 8 majors in detail, and then any other cross pairs that are giving me some structural levels to keep an eye on, we also get to review those ones as well. But before I even take a look at the charts as usual, guys, let's take a look at the economical calendar from Forex Factory for the news that we have in the calendar for next week. Again, I've filtered for the high impact news and bank holidays that we have, and that's what we have right now on the charts. So as you can see, unlike this week where we had a lot of fundamentals, all right, on the calendar, this week, the upcoming week, we don't have that much, at least from a high impact news perspective. Okay, on Sunday, as you can see here, we have bank holidays from the New Zealand axis, all right, so that's something to keep in mind. And then on Monday, 9:15 p.m., we have the governor of the Republic Bank of New Zealand speaking, all right. And on Wednesday, we have the Bank of Canadian governor speaking. So it's a bunch of speeches, as you can see here. Bank of Australia, okay, their governor will be speaking as well. And so the only high impact news per se is the CPI release coming from the United States axis on Thursday, okay, February 10. And again, remember the contents of this economical calendar can change, so it's some things for you to keep an eye on. But at this particular point in time, these are the items that we have on the agenda. Okay, so that's pretty much all we have. Friday we don't have any news. Also on Thursday we have bank holidays from the Japanese axis, so that's something to also keep an eye on. All right, so well, that's pretty much it. Light calendar in my opinion, and that is what I prefer to see. Hopefully I'll get some nice trading opportunities next week. Okay, but before I get ahead of myself, let's now take a look at the charts and see what we have. Alright, so as usual, I'm going to be kicking things off with US dollar Swiss francs. So what do we have here? Well, after last week's very huge bullish move to the upside, the expectation this week was that we're going to get some form of a pullback, maybe to retest some of those demand zones that we have formed on the smaller time frames, from where we expect the bulls again to start coming back into this market. And that's pretty much what this market did. Markets almost played out in a textbook manner as we had anticipated. Okay, so now from the weekly time frame, what you can see here is, well, the bulls came in, we pulled back, and the bulls are holding their demand zones. So my expectation from a weekly perspective is a possible retest again of this range high that we have in this area, okay, because the bulls have come into this market right here, and then the bears attempted to push this market down, and then we found support off of the demand zone in the 4 hours time frame, and then you can see that the bulls are now coming back into this market again. All right, that's the reason why we are closing this candle with this nice weak rejection in this area. Okay, so well, my expectation is when the week opens next week, we might see another push to the upside. Okay, that's where the momentum is pushing to. Okay, but again, remember, we are inside this weekly range that we have in this area, so you never know, this might be price retesting the top of the range, getting ready for maybe another push again to retest the bottom of the range. So there are a lot of possibilities in here. In my own opinion, I just I'm showing you the different opportunities that I am seeing in this particular currency pair. Right now, we are trading inside this range in this area. Okay, best bet would be to wait for price to get to the extremes and then search for opportunities. All right, or you get from price to get to the bottom of the range, and you also search for long opportunities. All right, depending on your trading strategy. But again, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Right now, let's take a look at the daily charts. Well, this area here, we have an intraday level here that worked as support here, resistance, okay, and then that's a significant level now on our charts, right around 0.9175 level, and you can see price retested that area, and well, from there you can see the markets are now turning around again for a possible continuation to the upside. So it's looking more bullish than bearish, at least from the daily time frame. Okay, if you take a good look here, you notice that this nice push to the upside took off this level of structure on our charts, okay, and creating demand zones, and it appears as if the bulls are now coming back again into this market. All right, so now taking a look at the 4 hours time frame. If you remember from the midweek forex forecast video that I had released, guys, on Wednesday morning, I told you guys, well, this demand zone can easily hold price to the upside. All right, and you can see that from right around there, price just retested that area, and it's as if the bulls are now coming back again into this market. Okay, well, like I said in that video, I don't really like this setup. All right, it's too much of a dip in my own opinion. So, well, the bulls are now coming into this market. Hopefully I'm going to get an opportunity from the smaller time frame. All right, as you have seen here, I've mapped out the hourly demand zone in this section. All right, so what I'm expecting right now is the bulls are coming into this market. We are beginning to break levels of structure on our charts. So what I'm expecting is maybe a possible push to the downside to retest demand zones in the smaller time frame for another continuation to the upside. All right, that's what I would like to see in this currency pair, and that's the reason why I have mapped out this particular demand zone that we have in the hourly time frame. As you can see here, the bulls came into this market, pushed the markets to the upside from here, taking off these levels of structure that we have on our charts in this area. Okay, so this demand zone has been formed, and if you notice in the next candle, price just tapped the top of that demand zone and we took off again. All right, you see the two taps we have. So there are definitely orders in this area. Let's say maybe 0.9225 level. All right, so let's see how that goes. In my own opinion, what I'd love to see now is maybe markets open, we might get a little push to the upside, and then from there, if price is to give us a push into that demand zone anywhere from right around here, any bounces to the upside, in my opinion, would be probably a nice setup for further continuations to the upside. All right, that's pretty much what I'm seeing right now in US dollar Swiss francs. Next up is going to be Euro US dollar. Okay, now for Euro US dollar, let's take a look at the weekly time frame. Guys, the bulls came into this market this week with venom. All right, after last week's move to the downside, okay, creating this supply zone, you can see that the bulls came into this market this week, and you can see the beautiful bullish engulf. So, well, not much can be said here other than the fact that the bulls are in this market, at least at this particular moment. Now, that being said, remember we have this weekly supply zone in this area, so price can easily give us a dip into that weekly supply zone. All right, you never know what can happen. We can get a push to the downside into maybe to fill up some demand zones in the smaller time frame, and then from there the bulls might come back again into this market, okay, to push price further to the upside. Who knows? Or it is also possible that the markets can open next week, and from there we might first of all get a push into this weekly supply zone, from where the bears will now come back again into this market. Okay, so a couple of possibilities here. Nobody knows which one is going to play out, so let's just keep an eye on the markets and see how it develops. Okay, but in my own opinion, these are the levels to keep an eye on, at least from a weekly perspective. That 1550 area, that 1550 institutional price level is one to keep an eye on in euro dollar. Okay, so now taking a look at the daily time frame, what do we have here? Well, we had mapped out this supply zone in this area going into this week, but you can see how the bulls just came into this market, 5 bullish days, 5 consecutive bullish days, and from there you can see they took off that supply zone in momentum, and that's the reason why, well, we have to wait for the bounce. Okay, that's why we just took off from that supply zone, because it's not valid any longer. All right, so at this particular point, price is now tapping into the extremes, okay, the selling origin that we have in this area. So a couple of options. Okay, price can easily respect this selling origin for a possible retracement to the downside into, let's say, 1.1300 thereabouts, where we have the H4 supply zone. All right, and then from there, you never know, the bulls can come into this market for another attack into the weekly supply zone right around, let's say, 115.50. Or another possibility, in my own opinion, is a situation whereby, let's say, from here the bulls just come into this market, push price, let's say, towards 15.50, and then from there the bears might now come into this market respecting, you know, this supply zone that we have in that area. Okay, so let's see how this goes. All right, that's really it for Euro US dollar from the 4 hours, from the daily time frame. Again, guys, if you guys are liking the content from this channel, okay, if you guys like this weekly forex forecast, please do not forget to click on that like button. Okay, subscribe to the channel, you know, click on that notification bell so that you'll always get updates whenever I post a video. Okay, also dropped comments, guys. Okay, comments help us to reach other traders. Okay, so that's really it. Let's take a look at the 4 hours time frame. So in the 4 hours time frame, guys, just take a look at these charts. Okay, hesitation, hesitation, hesitation. In the weekend forex forecast, I told you guys, well, I don't really like how price is building into this particular area. Okay, and well, you can see price just came here. We were looking for shorts. Price came here. We didn't really quite get any retracements, any bounces from that level. So from there, price just gave us a nice push to the upside. This push right here violated this supply zone that we have here, and you can see when price pulled back, we just respected this tiny demand zone in this area. Let me show you guys what happened in this pair this week. Okay, so we just respected this tiny demand zone in this neighborhood right here. Price broke, pulled back, news release, boom, to the upside. Okay, that's what happened this week. That's the story of the week. All right, so right now price is in the middle of nowhere. We have to wait to see what the market has in stock for us. Okay, and I'm going to be giving an update on this particular currency pair in the midweek forex forecast that I would release at 1 a.m. Eastern time Wednesday next week. All right, so keep an eye out for that, and well, hopefully you get some value from that video as well. Now, that's really it for Euro US dollar. Next up is going to be Australian dollar US dollar. Now, for Australian dollar US dollar, this pair is kind of moving in the anticipated manner. If you guys remember in last week's Forex Forecast, I had told you guys that the bulls can come in this week, push price into this supply zone, and retest this double pin bars, and then from here the bears can come back into this market. And it appears as if that is what is happening right now. You can see that for this particular week, the bulls came in, pushed price into that weekly supply zone, and from there the bears came into this market, and they are still protecting this level. So price action wise, this currency pair is moving in the anticipated manner. Right now, taking a look at the daily time frame, well, price actually, you can see this area here, this supply zone area here, that led to the break of these levels of structure. Let me show you guys. Okay, so this is the supply zone, broke these levels of structure to the downside. So right now the bulls have come back, pulled back into this area, and you can see that from right around that 0.7150 level, the bears have now come back again in momentum to push price to the downside with this heavy price action to the downside today. All right, so well, the bears are in this market at least at the particular moment. So who knows, are we going to get a push to the upside to retest supply zones? From there, maybe further continuations to the downside, maybe for a possible retest of 7100, 7105 area for possible continuations to the downside. All right, who knows, only time will tell. All right, now for the 4 hours time frame, not much. We retested price, pretty much gave us a push to the upside. Okay, to tap into this selling origin that we have in this area, this supply zone. Price tapped in 1 second, and then boom, the bears came into this market. And right now, this is a selling origin, and my anticipation in this particular currency pair is that we are probably going to get some form of a pullback, okay, into this 4 hours supply zone that kind of corresponds with this area here. Let's say 0.7110 area. Anywhere from right around there, if we get any bounce to the downside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. I think the picture is actually clearer in the hourly time frame, so I'm keeping an eye on this particular H1 supply zone. This one is also valid right here. This supply zone is also valid. So let's see what happens early London on Monday. Okay, in the event that let's say the markets open and by London we actually have price trading in this neighborhood right here. 1 second. Trading in this neighborhood right here. Any bounces from right around here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go shorts for further continuations to the downside. All right, let's see how that goes. Now that's it for Australian dollar US dollar. Next up is going to be New Zealand dollar US dollar. Okay, now for this particular pair in the weekly time frame, price actually did not even make it to the supply zone. Right, New Zealand continues to be weak across the board. So let's see what's going on here in the daily time frame. I still have my daily supply zone in here. Who knows, will price make it back to the upside, all right, towards that daily supply zone area? Who knows? In the event that that happens, anytime we get that push, I'll be looking for bounces from that level for further continuations to the downside. All right. And well, from the 4 hours time frame, what do we have here? Right now, price actually still looking like the Aussie setup. All right, price just tapped into this supply zone area that we have right here. Okay, you see that supply zone, price just tapped into there, and then we started dropping again. So who knows, it's looking more bearish than bullish at the moment, and who knows, we might just get enough pullback into supply zones in the hourly time frame from where the bears might come back again to continue pushing these markets to the downside. But in the event that that does not happen and that supply zone does not hold, all right, let's say price begins to break that supply zone, expect further pushes to the upside, even possibly into this daily supply zone, from where I will expect the bears to start coming into this market for further continuations to the downside. All right, remember guys, you always have to wait for the confirmation. All right, now from the hourly time frame, I'm going to be keeping an eye in this particular supply zone that we have in the hourly time frame that led to the break of all these levels of structure. One second, that led to the break of all these levels of structure that we have in this area. All right, so let's see in the event that price continues to pull back into that particular supply zone, anywhere from right around there, let's say 0.6625 level. From there, if we begin to get any significant bounces, let's say early London, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the up to the downside. Now the expectation is that this is going to happen early London session on Monday. If it begins to delay before we get that move, I am most likely not going to be liking this setup anymore. All right, so that's pretty much what I'm seeing right now in New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Next up, British pounds, US dollar. Now for cable, I'm not going to waste your time here. From the weekly perspective, let's see. Not much to be really said from this candle. The bulls came into this market, and then from here we saw some bearish action, okay, rejection. So not really much to say from the weekly perspective. Now from the daily perspective, well, price actually bounced off of this area right here. And well, we're looking more bullish right now because you notice that after the supply zone was formed, the bulls came in from here, and right now we have taken off this supply zone area. So this is a bullish origin, all right, and right now we've gotten some retracements, and price actually just dipped into the 4 hour demand zone that we're probably going to take a look at in a few. So right now it's looking more bullish, to be honest. Even though the bears came into this market, maybe we might get another dip into this demand zone area, from where I would not be surprised if the bulls come back into this market to continue pushing these markets to the upside. All right, that's what I can see right now from the daily charts. Taking a look at the 4 hours time frame, we obviously have a demand zone in this area. That is where this buy action started, all right, that took off this level of structure that we have in this area. All right, so that's a demand zone for sure, and right now you can see that the bears have dipped into that demand zone area right around 1.3500 decisional price level, anywhere from right around there. Well, what I would love to see now, I'll be keeping a very close eye on this one on Monday and let's say Tuesday to see how the price forms. Let's see if in the event that, let's say, we get another push to the downside, maybe towards, let's say, 13500 area, deep into this demand zone, any bounces from right around here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. All right, that's what I'm seeing in this particular currency pair at the moment. Now, that's it for British pound, US dollar. Next up is US dollar, Canadian dollar. Now, for US dollar, Canadian dollar, as anticipated, this pair respected this demand zone that we had mapped out in the midweek Forex forecast. You can see this demand zone here, but it was just a lot of hesitation, guys. You can see, we respected the demand zone. I actually anticipated that this was going to be the beginning of that bullish move, and you can see it did not quite turn out like that. But then finally on Friday, with the release of the non-farm payroll and the employment data from the Canadian axis, you notice that well, the bulls came into this market, and right now we are almost at the previous swing high. So well, this demand zone is holding not much at the particular moment because we are yet to take off this previous swing high, but I believe that is going to happen as we go into next week. So let's see what's happening now in the weekly time frame, guys. You notice that well, this week closed, I don't know what to call this candle, maybe a pin bar, but all that happened was after last week's bullish action, the bears came into these markets to fill up demand zones in the smaller time frame, and then from there you notice that well, the bulls came back into these markets, and we've succeeded in pushing back the markets to the upside. It appears as if the markets just closed thereabouts where it opened. So this setup usually looks as if the market is going to most likely give us maybe a bullish continuation again for a possible retest of this top of the flat top triangle that we have in this area, right around 1.2950 institutional price level. So that will be my preferred move in this currency pair. Let's see how it goes. All right, now from the daily time frame, what do we have here? Not much. Price just gave us a very nice push to the upside, taking off this supply zone area and creating this demand zone in the process. And if you plot this out, this is actually the demand zone area. Price dips in and we can see we are now beginning to bounce off of that demand zone area. So well, the bulls are in these markets, make no mistakes. Taking a look at the 4 hours time frame, we just reviewed that this is also a demand zone area and price has bounced off of that area. Now if we go into the hourly time frame, this is the level I'm going to be keeping an eye on as we go into next week or for early next week. All right, this demand zone that we have here that broke all these levels of structure to the upside, this right here. Okay, so this demand zone was formed in the process. So what I would love to see right now is for markets to open and from here, let's say we get a dip to the downside towards, let's say 1.2725 institutional price level, anywhere from right around here. If we begin to get bounces to the upside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. That is pretty much my game plan for US dollar Canadian dollar as we go into next week. Next up, US dollar Japanese yen. US dollar Japanese yen, guys, price remains within that tight range that we have on the weekly time frame, so I am not going to waste your time here. It's looking more bullish than bearish though, based on the price action of the week. We had a bullish engulfing candle, all right, last week, and then this week we have a pin bar. All right, so from a candle analysis perspective, this currency pair is looking for like it's going to break out to the upside. That is what it is looking like at this particular moment. But again, only time will tell. Taking a look at the daily time frame, not much. Price just bounced off of this buying origin that we have in this area. All right, this is the buying origin that we have here. This nice move that took off this level of structure. Price pulled back into it, and you can see from here the bulls are coming back into these markets. Okay, so right now, well, what I would love to see as we go into this week is maybe for price to start filling up demand zones that we have on the smaller time frames, and that's the reason why I'm keeping an eye in this demand zone that we have on the hourly time frame. Okay, you can see that from here price gave us this nice push to the upside, breaking these levels of structure that we have to the left. Okay, so what I would love to see right now is for maybe upon market open right around 11500 level, 149.46 area, 114.46.96 area, around 1500 institutional price level, anywhere from right around there. Any bounces that I get to the upside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. That's really what I can see right now in US dollar Japanese yen. Now, in British pounds to Japanese yen, what do we have? If we take a look at the weekly time frame, not much in my opinion. If we take a look at the daily time frame, well, from the daily time frame, right now price respected this particular demand zone that we have right here. Okay, that's what is going on in this particular currency pair. So price respected this demand zone right around 153 institutional price level, and you can see that from here the bulls have now come into these markets. It's looking bullish right now from the daily time frame, and you notice that today's price action, price actually is beginning to retrace. So what I would love to see now is for price to retrace to fill up the demand zones that we have on the smaller time frames, and then from there I would love to see the bulls come back into this market and continue pushing the markets to the upside. All right, at least for a possible retest of this previous swing high and beyond. That is what I would love to see as we go into next week. If you guys remember from the midweek forex forecast, I think price was trading right around here, and I told you guys that this is just a lot of hesitation, that I would love to see price give me a clear break to the upside, okay, taking off this level of structure, okay, and we have now gotten that with this move right here, and you can see right now we are beginning to get that pullback as anticipated. So everything is looking nice in this particular currency pair at the moment. What I would love to see now is for price to dip into this particular demand zone, let's say 155.25 area, anywhere from right around there. If I begin to get bounces to the upside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. This is a setup that I really like going into next week, so let's see how that goes. All right, So that's it for British pounds and Japanese yen, and that's it for the majors at this particular point. So the next 6 currency pairs are cross pairs that are giving me technical levels to keep an eye on. And as usual, I'm not going to be wasting your time to do the top-down analysis. I'm just going to show you guys the levels that are giving me significant levels to keep an eye on, all right, as we go into next week. Now, as usual, guys, if you're liking this video, or if you're liking the content, or if you're getting any value from this, please do not forget to leave a comment, like and subscribe to the channel, and click on that notification bell as well. All right, I appreciate it. Now, let's go into Euro New Zealand. Okay, so for Euro New Zealand, what do we have here? This pair, actually, I took a buy right around here this week. But again, I'm going to explain that in a different video. But as you can see, the bulls came into this market. I'm not going to waste your time. A few levels I'm keeping an eye on here in the 4 hours time frame. To be honest with you, it depends on how the market moves. If the market opens, let's say, and we get a quick push to the downside into this hourly demand zone, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long upon bounces to the upside for further continuations to the downside. But my expectation is that somehow, maybe after that moves completes, this demand zone might be retested. Okay, price might pull back into this area or even dip into this one, depending on how the market moves. So I'm obviously going to be giving an update in this particular currency pair, on the midweek forex forecast. Okay, but if price begins to bounce again from this area, I'll be looking for another opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. That is pretty much what I would love to see in this currency pair. Remember, anything can happen, but right now I like this particular demand zone that we have in the hourly time frame, right around 1.7250 institutional price level. So again, market opens and let's say we get a dip into, let's say, 1.7250 area, anywhere from right around here, any bounces to the upside, I'll look for a nice push to the upside for another nice bullish move. All right, the bulls are in these markets, make no mistakes. But again, I will not be surprised in a situation whereby, let's say, the bulls, the bears come into this market, push price to retest this demand zone here, or even this demand zone that we have in this area. All right, so whenever that happens, any bounces we get as well, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long. In a nutshell, I am looking for long opportunities as price pulls into demand zones in the smaller time frame period. All right, so let's take a look at the next one, New Zealand Japanese yen. So for New Zealand Japanese yen, what do we have here? Well, very nice level in the 4 hours time frame. This currency pair has been moving in a textbook manner. It might seem as though we were in a downtrend in this particular area, but you notice that after this nice push to the downside, all right, price gave us a nice push to the upside, and then we finally broke this particular area that was working as some resistance, this level of structure, and we created this particular demand zone in the process. Okay, this demand zone that was created, price dips into the demand zone, and you can see we pushed off again from that area, breaking these levels of structure to the upside, and we have now created a new demand zone in the process. Okay, and price is now in the process of retesting that demand zone again. So what I would love to see right now next week is for price to give me a dip into this particular demand zone, and then from here, if we get any bounces from here to the upside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long in this particular currency pair for further continuations to the upside. Right, that's pretty much my game plan for New Zealand Japanese yen. Now next is going to be New Zealand Canadian dollar. Now for New Zealand Canadian dollar, pretty similar to New Zealand Japanese yen. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this demand zone right here. In the event that from here, let's say price gives us a push to the downside into this demand zone, anywhere from right around here, if we get bounces to the upside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. All right, so that's a key level in my opinion, a key area, let's say 0.8400 institutional price level. Okay, anywhere from right around here, if we get that pullback into this area, guys, I'll be looking for very nice buying opportunities. So that's it for our New Zealand Canadian dollar. Next up is going to be British pounds Canadian dollar. All right, so well, not going to waste your time. This is the 4 hours level that I'm keeping an eye on at the moment. So if we do get any form of push to the downside into this particular demand zone area, maybe 1.7150 area, anywhere from right around here, bounces to the upside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. That's pretty it for British pounds and Canadian dollar. Next up is going to be Swiss francs Japanese yen. Well, this one is already sitting inside the demand zone that I had mapped out. And if you pay attention, earlier today, price gave us that dip into that particular demand zone. All right, and you can see the bulls came into this market and protected that demand zone. Right now, just before markets close, we are closing deep inside that demand zone. So, well, let's see how this goes. I'm still keeping an eye on this, but well, I would love to see price give me a nice push again into this particular demand zone, anywhere from right around here. If the bulls begin to come into this market, bouncing to the upside, I'll be looking for opportunities to go long for further continuations to the upside. All right, that's my game plan for Swiss francs, Japanese yen as we go into next week. Again, guys, always wait for the bounces. All right, do not anticipate and just say, oh, this is a demand zone, therefore the market is going to go up from here. No, you have to wait for price to get to the demand zone, wait for price to react off of that demand zone, to bounce off of it, and then before you make a trading decision. All right, now that's it, guys. Then last but not the least is Euro Canadian dollar, another pair that just took off to the upside in momentum. All right, well, in this particular pair, I'm not going to waste your time. If we get price to dip into this particular demand zone right around 1.4500 institutional price level, anywhere from right around here, if we get bounces to the upside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Now that's really it, guys. That's the 14 currency pairs that are giving me a technical level to keep an eye on as we go into next week. As usual, guys, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel and drop your comments in the comment section. And well, I'll see you guys in the midweek Forex forecast. Cheers, enjoy your weekend, and have a profitable trading week ahead. Bye-bye.